you made for, or what you were made for, how knowing God will transform your life, we talked about pointers to God that we make as substitutes for God. In other words, there are things that are real to us, that are really pointers to God, that actually, if we don't follow the pointers to God, we make them substitutes for God. And here are some of the things we mentioned. Relationships, love, sex, beauty, food and drink, a cause or a purpose to live for. These are all good things in and of themselves, but we sometimes make them idols, ignore God. All these things point to God. We ignore God, and these things become the end in themselves. We also mentioned that sometimes work or just being an intellect, being an intellectual, having pride in what you know can be something that is a pointer to God, but we make it an idol to ourselves. We talked about sports and celebrities, things that we follow, that we admire. Sometimes people who have no God make government their God. Pleasure, moments of awe. C.S. Lewis called them glimpses of heaven. Now, the one we're going to talk about here today that's a pointer to God, but a lot of people don't realize it, is this concept called beauty. You've heard this before, that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That is actually not true. In other words, beauty is objective. And when we go and we see something beautiful, that should point us to the ultimate source of beauty, and that is God. And Chesterton combined beauty and relationships and sex and said basically that any man who goes to a brothel to look for that, really, he doesn't know it, but what he's really looking for is God. That's what he's looking for. And he's trying to get God, or he's trying to get what he really wants through illicit means. He wants what he thinks he wants, but he doesn't really know what he actually wants and needs.